again for being here.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody for coming out for Dan. That's why we're all here. That's why I'm here. I don't know if many of you realize this. I know Congressman Joe DiAguardi, who's here, he realizes it. Thank you, Joe. It's always great to see you. Thank you.
Did you believe that Larry was my press secretary in Congress?
Joe taught me everything I later learned. Westchester is my home. This is where I've been since I was in first grade. So when I come here to support Dan, I'm coming here not because of what I did in Washington or a job I used to hold. I'm coming here because it means so much to me to have the right people in office in Westchester County, and especially in the office of DA. I'm the father of 2 little children, 3 and 5. And I want them to grow up safe. I want them to grow up in a county where it was a county that I could play in, that I hitchhiked in, that I went from town to town in. The little things that you do as a child that always stay with you. I want my children to have that now. And the fact is, the DA's office historically in Westchester has been a Republican office. The Northeast has changed dramatically since I grew up here. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but none of them have anything to do with the office of the DA and what it represents. If ever there was an office in Westchester County where you want the best, the smartest, the most able, the toughest, regardless of political ideology, because the issues that divide on a national political level have zero to do with the DA's office. You need somebody of integrity. You need somebody of honor. You need somebody with a spine of steel, because that office handles a lot of tough issues. But when I hear Dan talk, and he came to my office and we met and we talked, and I asked him what he was about, who is he? And when you meet somebody who can be as tough as Dan, one of the first issues he always talks about is victims of domestic violence. You can't imagine a greater dichotomy between the most tender, soft, hardest issues that anybody could ever suffer from, who needs somebody tough and strong to put away people who do things like that. This is his priority. This is the Dan Schorr that I've come to know. So when Dan asked me to help him, I of course said yes, I want to. I want to do it for so many reasons. But when you look at his background, Ivy League educated, Harvard Law School, former assistant DA in Queens and Westchester, he has experience. He has a history of doing exactly what the job entails. I'm also drawn to Dan because we have things in common. We both have Jewish Democratic parents. Somehow we both became Republicans and our parents still love us. So I just want to thank everybody here for doing what you're doing, and especially Ron and Marcia. Thank you for opening up your home. It's very kind. In my experience, when people open up their home to politicians or to would-be politicians, check your silverware. But thanks to all of you for everything you're doing here for Dan. It means so much to the county. It means so much to our children, and it means even more to anybody who would ever think of breaking the law in Westchester. Dan is the last one they want. He's the one the cops want, and that speaks volumes. When the police of Westchester tell you that they want Dan, they're telling you that because they know what the reality is on the streets. And that's why we want Dan to be the DA. So thank you. Work for him, volunteer for him, give money to him, do everything you can, because we need Dan to win this race this November. So thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having me.
Just a few more people that I wanted to note, and Congressman Joe DiAguardi has been so generous in his help and his advice, and we talk about all the financial improprieties in government and the wasteful spending. This is someone who's been speaking about this issue for decades and has been a warrior on it back then and now, and I thank you for being... Okay. For about 5 or 6 years he's been active in it, but I just wanted to ask you to say hello to people, and I am so grateful for your support, and absolutely, absolutely.
Sure. Shirley, she's been one of your biggest supporters from the beginning. You know you have a good candidate when you see how aggressive he's been on raising money. I thought his election was last year. We've been supporting him for 2 years. It's amazing. But not only are we trying to raise money, and we'll continue for him, but having a big connection with the Albanian American community, because I brought that issue to Congress with me, and there's so many in and around New York. I've brought a group of young students that will be following him and be your volunteers to the end.
And they've been there.
Right. And they would have been here tonight, but they got stuck, but
They've been at my events.
I brought the check anyway for them.
Right.
I don't have to tell you anything more about Dan than you already know. He's going to make a fine district attorney. And nothing's easy in Westchester County. You remember, in fact, I'm back home. Scarsdale was part of my district. You can imagine I had to not ever mention my party when I was shaking hands at the Scarsdale train station. And may I tell them just a little story? Because it's at the beginning of my book, Unaccountable Congress, and the title is Joey the Waiter Goes to Congress. Because when we moved from the Bronx, my old man was tough. He said, all right, your brother is 5 years younger. He's going to take your place in the store in the Bronx, but you got to get a job up here in Westchester. So I walked around the corner, and there was a very wonderful Jewish American country club, Elmwood. In those days, it was one of the finest. Now you've got Century and Old Oaks. So I was the bar boy at Memorial Day 1957 and quickly became a bus boy, and by the end of the summer, I was a waiter, and I stayed there for 4 years working my way through college. Now, wouldn't you know it, I'm now at the Scarsdale train station where I commuted to Arthur Anderson for like 20 years, and I kind of lost track of the members there. But, you know, when you're the room service waiter at 6 in the morning, and you're the lunch waiter, and then you're the dinner waiter, and you're the gin rummy waiter at night, I was working really hard and made a lot of money. Now, so an older man comes up to me on the on Scarsdale train station, and the same thing, my party, you know, my party, get to know me. By the way, you look familiar to me. I said, and your name? I'm Mr. Sternleaf. I said, sounds familiar. So here we go back in time. He's a CPA, I'm a CPA, but we didn't connect. Are you on the boards of some charities? A couple, we didn't connect. What school did you go to? Didn't connect. Finally, I said to him, were you a member of Elmwood Country Club 58, 59, 60, 61? Yes. I'm Joey the Waiter. I'm going to be your guy. That's in the book. I just had to say that. That happened in Scarsdale. He's a good man.
Really quick, there's so many people I'd like to point out, but Bob Cohen's the head of the Scarsdale Republicans. He's been a big help. And Harrison and Mr. Rabbi from the Asian American Republicans, really, and Jim Castro Blanco is going to be the next Yonkers City Council president, which we need to and Dr. Iris Pagan from the Women's Republican. And I want to say for last, Ron and Marcy Binder, who have been so unbelievably generous. Where'd he go? He ran out of here? Sorry, they've been so unbelievably generous with their home, with everything. The way this came about was Ron took what I thought was a casual interest in the campaign, and we were emailing, and I said, yeah, we're doing this event. We're looking for a host. Immediately said, we'll host it. We'll put it all together. They took care of everything here. They set it up. It's a godsend to this campaign. And I have known you all my life, and I'm so appreciative. You guys have been so generous with your time, your house, your everything. So thank you so much. It means so much. So once again, enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for the volunteers who signed people in. This campaign cannot work without you. We are going to work tirelessly for the next 5 months to win this election. Joe Crotty's my volunteer coordinator. If you want to volunteer, talk to him. And we're going to be everywhere. Parks, festivals, train stations, door to door, we're everywhere. And we want you to get involved. I also want to point out Jessica Pratt, my communications director, who does everything. And of course, Cindy Ferris, who's the brains behind the whole operation. So I know a lot of people will be thankful. I don't want to take up your time too much, but thank you so much once again, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
And Lester Millman, the political guru behind the whole thing. Sorry.